Hello, everyone. It's Monica, also known as Sleeved After 60, and it's New Year's Eve of 2016. And I am coming to you to talk about my favorite thing, which is kindness and grace in January 2017. And I started talking about this a couple of months ago, and I've been talking about this all along because kindness and grace is something that I talk about in therapy a lot. And it's a theme that I've learned in therapy since I went to eating disorder therapy about 8 years ago. I apologize because I know that I talk about this a lot about having gone to therapy, and sometimes I make a joke when I say that, and I think to myself, "Oh my God!" Whenever I mention that, people must, it must be a eat a Cheez-Its kind of game. Oh my God! And here she goes. She's going to say when I went to therapy, when I went to treatment, but the light is a little wonky, isn't it? Because I'm sitting by the window. But it's Minnesota. It's 20 degrees, and we have some daylight, some nice sun, and it's nice to just get it. But anyway, kindness and grace is something that I talk about a lot and that I learned about in therapy. Something that by one of those things by Happerstans, I think is the word, that my therapist mentioned. One of the parts, the big staple of therapy, of treatment, was that we ate meals together. We had I think 3 meals together a week. It was outpatient, and so we ate 2 dinners and a breakfast a week, and it was intensive, intensive therapy. And the first 3 weeks I didn't work. I took 3 weeks off to pretty much put all my energy. And I can't remember. I think it was like 6 months that I went. And so there was a an eating component, actually having meals, and they were catered, and they were just regular meals. And that whole idea was to take total, total mystery out of eating, out of food. And actually, I think I'm going to stop right here about that. If you're interested in knowing a little more about what eating disorder treatment is like, write a comment or send me a message, and I will make a video about it, and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, but let's go into the kindness and grace. So it was mentioned, and it was something that really I picked up on it. It wasn't a lecture or anything like that. Just one of the therapists, who happened to be my personal therapist, who I still see 8 years later. I still see her on a weekly basis. I picked up on that she said, and I wrote it down. And as you know, I'm a mental health professional, and I worked as a mental health professional, and I kept it on my desk. I did some other exercises, which, if you're interested in the future, I can share with you in my life, and I've always kept that as part of just my everyday sort of living. Kindness and grace, kindness and grace. So I wanted to share that about this month, because I know how difficult January is, especially with eating disorders, dieting, food restriction. January is a bitch, people. It is a difficult time for people like us, because we are of the magical thinking that restriction is where we need to be. And we make this concept in our mind that the harder we are to ourselves, the somehow the better we're going to come out of it. That January, the more restriction, the more control, the better we're going to come out So we go crazy in December and we keep beating ourselves up with a big stick, and the stick becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. By the time January 1st comes, dear God, here we go. We're going to do all this stuff, which by Martin Luther King's birthday, we are on the ground on our knees because we have beaten ourselves into a stupor. And that's why I think that kindness and grace is so important. Do not do this to yourself. The brain doesn't work well with that kind of belief system. You cannot control it. Take it from someone who's 64 years old almost, who has been dieting for or trying for 50 years, who's done this over and over again. I will not do that again. Since going to treatment in 2008, I have stopped dieting, and the one good thing is that I haven't gained weight. That's the one good thing that I can say. Yes, I haven't lost weight, but yes, I haven't gained weight. And the one thing I can tell you is my saving grace is that I haven't beaten myself up, and that I don't go to bed every night saying tomorrow I'm going to be better, because I refuse to do that. And that's because of kindness and grace. I cannot do that to myself. And you don't have to. You can still lose weight. You have your tool, or you're getting your tool. You can change your life without beating yourself up. You can. And control isn't the way to do it. By saying you're going to work out every day, by saying you're never going to have sweets again, all of that is not going to help you get to where you're going to want to be. It's not how it's going to happen, because your brain is just going to tell you, oh yeah? No, you're not. It's by talking to yourself kindly and doing one thing at a time. And the first thing is that you need to really nurture yourself and be kind to yourself. It is. Trust me. Trust me. You're going to have to be kind to yourself. You know how you get your kids to do things by being kind? You know how you get your partner to hear you when you speak kindly? You get your parents, if you're a teacher, how you get your students, if you're a boss, how you get anyone to listen to you is by being kind and gentle. That's how you get yourself, is by just being kind and gentle. When you start to just say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, you can't. Your brain is not able to take that. And, I heard, just like a lot of you, Nirvana, I heard your video and it just broke my heart. And I sent you a message because one of the things that you said just broke my heart. And you said, I don't feel that I deserve as much love as I get. And honey, you are so wrong, because the love is not contingent on the weight and the weight loss and the perfection. It's not. You don't have to be perfect for me to like you or love you. You just deserve it because you are. And that's the same thing with us. You don't have to be perfect to be kind to yourself. That's bullshit, right? And the thing is, most of you know when I say that about Nirvana, you know that. You say, girly girl, you don't have to be perfect for me to like you. That's ridiculous. Yet you expect that of yourself and you know it. So that's all I'm saying. So tomorrow morning, just remember but be kind because we're worthy. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything but be to be worthy. You're worthy of your own respect. You're worthy of your own respect and kindness. You're worthy of your own love. Because if you don't love you, who the hell else is going to love you? Right? And somehow, if you get on that mindset that your scale is going to tell you, your scale is going to tell you what your worth is, sooner or later, you're not going to have any worth left. And if you are going to tell yourself, I am only worthy if, and I'm not picking on anybody, but if you walk 100 miles, if you eat a pound of flesh, I know it's not flesh, I can't think of a pound of cure, it's not, sooner or later, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And only you can teach your brain that you are worthy. And if you're worthy of your own kindness, others are going to give it to you because they're going to see it in you. Now, let me tell you something about social media. Social media and YouTube, just like I'm doing right now, is mostly about monologues, right? We don't interact with each other, and I'm already at 12 minutes. Let's think about interacting. How do we want to interact? Do we want to be more than you're hot? You look hot? Do we want to interact by being kind and graceful to each other and saying more to each other than just, you look great and you're hot? Let's just think about that. And how can we be supportive of each other in other ways than just, you look great, girl? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but let's just think about that. I'm going to stop right now because I don't want to lose you. Happy New Year, kindness and grace to everyone. Besos.